Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm actually going to post a long tone warm-up. So it's different from the one I posted last July. It's a little bit similar, but mostly somewhat different. So a lot of the students in my studio right now, they know like this is my big thing, and I've kind of, I've passed it out to all of them, and I've kind of coached them all through that. So if you are in my studio and I have just given you the music to this and told you to watch this video, thanks for checking this out. This will tell you exactly how I want you to practice this, so that it will help you so it will help you improve over time and develop some good muscle strength in your embouchure. A lot of the students in my studio right now, they know like this is my big thing, and I've kind of, I've passed it out to all of them, and I've kind of coached them all through that. So if you are in my studio and I have just given you the music to this and told you to watch this video, thanks for checking this out. This will tell you exactly how I want you to practice this. It will help you improve over time and develop some good muscle strength in your embouchure and your core. So the first thing you want to keep in mind when you're doing this is that this is a warm-up. So maybe make sure your reed works and everything before you start playing, but like, you don't have to do like 100,000 scales and stuff before you play this. This is just to get the air going, the muscles working and everything. So you want to make sure that when you play this, you play each line in one complete breath, and it should be a challenge for you to get through each line. So there are a couple of ways you can challenge yourself. One is to challenge yourself dynamically. So practice playing it as loud as you can, all in one breath, all the way through to the very end. Or you can practice playing it as soft as you possibly can, all in one breath. The challenge is up to you, or to me as your teacher, but the basic premise is the same. Nothing should be easy. If it's easy, then you're not actually practicing. The other challenge in this you could do is challenge your lung capacity. So you can find a tempo on the metronome that will put you at the very end of your breath and force you to just like expand and contract with every ounce of power that you have. Lastly, this is a challenge for your embouchure, and you don't really have an option whether or not to challenge your embouchure, because it just is. So really quick, let's just review some of the embouchure basics. You want to make sure that your teeth are lined up when you play. It'll give you the right kind of leverage between the top of the mouthpiece and the reed, the fulcrum point where your jaw should hit. If you don't know where the fulcrum point is, take a look at your mouthpiece sideways. You can put a little piece of light behind it, right, and check it out. This mouthpiece has a medium long facing, so that means the reed and the mouthpiece meet right here for me. Now that this is going to be really washed out because my light is on bright, but that means that this much reed should be in your mouth and your jaw pressure should be right here. Now, if you're putting the mouthpiece in and you're pinching it like this, and the angle of your face is like this when you play, you see that? You're gonna get a more pinched off sound and have a little bit more unreliable intonation, and you also probably won't get as focused and clear of a sound. Now, there are, for every single clarinet teacher and clarinet player and professional and whatever in the world, there's a totally different perspective or idea on how to interpret this. So this is mainly an American thing, this angle with the leverage of the top teeth kind of towards the top of the mouthpiece and the jaw pressure leveraging in. So you should try this if you want to get a sound like me or my colleagues. But if you don't, then don't do this. Anyway, so once you figure that out, so teeth straight up and down, about a finger width apart, and check it out. Now the point where your lip and your skin meet here, your lip should be touching the reed, but no more than that. So you don't want to go so far in that you get a callus right here on your lip, and you don't want to go so far out that you're doing a fish face when you play. So you got to have a balance between the two. So I've got a nice big fat overbite, so this is quite a challenge for me, or it was a long time ago, and sometimes it still is if I get a little bit out of shape. So anyway, so make sure that when you form this embouchure, you form your embouchure in this manner. Teeth straight up and down, form that, curl your top lip into itself, and your cheeks and everything should be tight up against the bone structure of your face. So if you watch me play, if my lighting is right, you can actually see the contours of my face. And I mean, I do have lovely high cheekbones, but that's also because of my playing. I actually have to keep everything really sucked in, and you should too, otherwise you'll get a really spread honky sort of sound. If you want to sound honky on clarinet, go right ahead. You should shut this video off right now because this is not going to help you sound honky. Anyway, so let's get set up, and I'm going to do a couple of lines of this. I'm going to set this to 80, and I'm actually going to try to play this at a moderate volume, and I'm going to do actual whole notes, 4 counts per note. That's one way you can really challenge your lungs. Now, if you go through every single line in this piece, you're going to be pretty tired at the end. But your face is going to be warmed up, and you're going to really feel the blood flowing in your lips. The other thing I want to add with this is that you want to play this as legato as possible. Legato meaning connecting each note as smooth as you can over one unending tube of air. An example of poor legato is this. So if we were in a lesson right now, we would say, so why is that an example of poor legato? And you, being a really great, wonderful student, you would say, I think you're crescendoing and decrescendoing on every single individual note. And you would be correct. So you want to make sure that you're not putting in unintentional dynamic shifts on individual notes when you're practicing legato air. So the dynamic shift should take place over the entire duration of the breath from the beginning of the phrase to the end of the phrase. So if you practice playing this a little bit quicker, it becomes a little bit easier to know if you're doing this or not. So technically, just because you see a slur over the mark, and just because you don't tongue every note, doesn't mean you're actually playing legato. So the magic in legato comes from how you use your air. And you can play any legato passage with this technique and communicate a more melodic phrase over a much larger duration of time rather than playing individual notes. That's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this up. And I don't know, enjoy, listen in or not. I haven't played today yet, so this is my warm-up. Okay, well, the challenge in that was simply making sure I got the rest of my warm-up in before the battery on my... man. The challenge in that was trying to get the rest of my warm-up in before the battery on my camera died, and there we go. I finished it. So, I really hope that you guys can use this in your own practicing. It's great. You cover the full range, most of the full range of the instrument, and you also learn, how to hear your descending arpeggios all the way down, and it's based off of the natural harmonics of the clarinet using the register key. So I really love that warm-up. So that's it for today. If you guys have any questions or ideas for upcoming content, I'll do my best to incorporate everybody's suggestions. But for now, oh yeah, and also don't forget to subscribe. Please share my stuff with your friends and anybody who you think might benefit from it. And now, as always, thanks so much for watching and happy practicing.